My name is Nora, and I am 33 years old. I am the mother of three precious daughters, Arya, Lena, and Noor. They are my heart, my purpose, my everything. Without them, I am just a shell. With them, I am a warrior. Life, however, has not been kind. I lost my mother when I was still a child, barely old enough to understand what death meant. My world shattered, but I kept walking. Then, years later, when I thought I had finally built something stable, my husband walked away. When Noor was still in diapers, he simply vanished. No goodbyes. No explanations. No money. No calls. Just silence. A silence that still rings in my ears sometimes when the nights get too quiet. Since that day, it's just been the four of us. I have no family left, no one to lean on. We live in a cramped apartment with peeling walls and creaking floors. There's no garden, no balcony, no warmth in the air, just necessity. Every month is a battle, paying rent, buying food, keeping the lights on. I never had the chance to go to college. No degree, no fancy skills. But I have drive and grit. I work as a private taxi driver in the city. I don't own the car, I rent it, and it costs me a chunk of what little I earn. I drive morning to night, through sunshine, storms, and exhaustion. Some passengers are kind, tipping me with a warm smile or extra change. Others curse, yell, or sneak away without paying. Still, I drive. I don't stop. I can't stop. Every time I feel my bones scream from fatigue or my head spin from hunger, I look at my daughters. When they sleep, their tiny hands curled up, their breathing soft, and even, I feel strength return to my body. I touch their foreheads, whispering, "Mama's here. I'll never let you fall." But then came the night that changed everything. It was bitter cold. Rain poured like grief from the heavens. I had just picked up the girls from a friend's house. Arya, my eldest at 10, sat beside me. Lena and little Noor, only 5, were tucked in the back. "Mama, I'm cold," Noor said, her voice barely a whisper. "I know, baby. We're almost home," I told her, adjusting the broken heater. The roads were nearly empty. Streetlights flickered through the mist. My hands gripped the wheel. My stomach twisted. Something didn't feel right. Then, a blinding light, a thunderous crash, and pain. Searing, soul-splitting pain. Darkness swallowed everything. When I opened my eyes, everything was white. The ceiling, the sheets, even the air smelled sterile. Machines beeped around me. My body throbbed. I couldn't move. Then it hit me, the girls. I gasped, my throat burning. "Arya, Lena, Noor." The words came out cracked. A nurse rushed over. She looked young, kind. She took my hand gently. "They're okay," she whispered. "They're safe." Tears rolled down my cheeks. Relief hit me harder than the crash. "I want to see them," I whispered. Moments later, the door burst open. 3 tiny figures flew into the room. "Mama," they screamed, hugging me, covering my face in kisses. I held them like I would never let go again. Then the doctor came in. "You have a badly broken leg," he said. "You'll need surgery and at least 6 weeks to recover." 6 weeks? How would I work? Who would pay the rent? What about the car I rented? What about food? I felt a wave of panic. Then the worst news dropped. I had crashed into a luxury car. The owner was demanding $20,000 in damages. I had nothing, not even $1 to my name. That night, I cried harder than I ever had. My daughters clung to me, crying too. I felt like the universe had finally broken me. But miracles have strange timing. The next morning, a nurse showed me something on her phone. "Nora, your story, it's gone viral." I blinked.
What?
A photo of me in the hospital with my daughters, bruised but breathing, was everywhere. People from around the world had started sharing it. Messages of support flooded in. And donations. A woman in Canada sent $200. A taxi driver from India sent $50. A schoolteacher from Italy wrote, "You remind me of my mother." Then came the phone call. A deep voice.
"Calm. Steady."
"I read your story," he said. "I want to help." I hesitated. Who are you? You'll see, he replied. 2 days later, the hospital room filled with strangers, but not just any strangers. They came bearing gifts, warm coats for the girls, food baskets, flowers. Then he walked in. A young man, maybe in his early 30s. Dressed simply. His eyes were kind. He smiled at me as if we'd known each other in another life. You don't know me, he said, pulling up a chair. But I know enough to want to help. Why? I asked, my voice shaking. Because I can, he said. I cried. For the first time, not from pain but from gratitude. Within days, he paid my hospital bills. All of them. But that wasn't the miracle. One morning, he took me and the girls in a van. We drove for almost an hour until we reached a quiet neighborhood. Trees lined the streets. Birds sang. And then we stopped in front of a house. A big, beautiful house. This is for you, he said. I couldn't breathe. For me? I whispered. He nodded. You'll never have to pay rent again. I fell to my knees. I wept like a child. My daughters hugged me, crying too. Mama, do we really live here now? Lena asked. Yes, I said, barely believing it myself. Yes, we do. Weeks passed. I healed slowly. The young man, his name was Zaid, visited often. One day he asked, Nora, what is your biggest dream? I thought for a moment. To open a supermarket, I said. A real one, with fresh food and happy people. He smiled. Then let's build it. And we did. 3 months later, I stood outside Nora's market, my name glowing in big blue letters. Inside were shelves filled with fresh vegetables, bread warm from the oven, and the sound of customers laughing. I wasn't a taxi driver anymore. I wasn't a woman barely surviving. I was a businesswoman, a provider, a mother who had found her wings again. I will never forget what Zaid did for me. Not just the money, not just the house, but the hope. The reminder that kindness still exists in this world. That even in your darkest hour, someone might appear, out of nowhere, and light a torch that guides you home. Now I have a roof, a dream, and most of all, a future for my daughters. So, to whoever you are reading this, never stop believing in goodness. Never stop hoping. Because even in a storm, light finds its way through. And sometimes, miracles really do come knocking. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. More true stories of resilience, love, and hope are on their way. Until then, stay strong, stay kind, and never stop believing in a better tomorrow. Glowing Star.